Marriage is going through a huge shift right now. As we are growing and evolving, marriage also is going to require a shift from us. We are no longer getting married for socioeconomic advantages or gains, and I don't think we are getting married just for love anymore either. I am excited to dive into this episode today because as society, as a collective, we are growing and evolving and shifting and changing, which means marriage and partnership and relationships are also going to require some shifts and transitions as well. If we haven't met before, hi, I am Sana. I am a feminine energy and embodiment coach, and I empower women to slow down and become relaxed women so they can be rooted and grounded in their truth and lead a life that is soul-led, from their soul, from their essence, from who they truly, authentically are, not from what society expects from them. So if you are on a journey of unraveling all that you're not to become who you truly are, I would love to assist you and guide you along your path, help you identify limiting beliefs, help you see blind spots that you may not be seeing, help you identify patterns so that we can shift your frequency and get you in alignment with your highest self. We are growing, we are changing, we are going to therapy, we're doing the inner work, we are growing as a society, right? Obviously, there are people out there that are staying the same and are not changing, which is fine. But for the most part, if you have a conversation with somebody that is deeper than surface level conversations, you will notice that every single person that you talk to is going through something, is going through some sort of challenge or obstacle or realization that the way the world is operating is not it, right? So each and every single person, we're experiencing shifts, and whatever you see within is what we experience in the outside world too, which is why the world feels and seems to be very chaotic right now. What's happening is a shift in consciousness. We are realizing that if we don't change something, humans may cease to exist. Not to get all that on you guys today, but just to plant the seed of why does marriage also need to shift? And it's because we are moving into a new paradigm where humans are realizing that survival mode is not the answer. We're craving more harmony, we're craving more love and peace and joy and freedom and autonomy. Marriage traditionally is supposed to be something that, the term settle down. Everybody knows that when you get married, you settle down and you fall into these traditional norms. And, this institution of marriage is something that religion has really taken under their reins. And what I would like to do is reclaim marriage and reorient the way marriage is today so that it works for the modern woman, the modern man, the modern couple, right? So whether you're monogamous, whether you're heterosexual, this isn't about man and wife. It's about how can we bring two or more people into union so that all parties can express their most authentic selves and be free to grow and shift and evolve through the longevity of a relationship. So that is what love is accepting that we are going to change, we are going to grow, we are going to evolve, and giving each other the freedom and the space to explore, to discover, and to continue to let go of identities and pick up new ones and not pigeonhole each other into a box. So the most important thing that you need in order for a marriage to thrive in this day and age is a growth mindset. If you're with somebody who is very stuck in their ways and very unwilling to even have a sliver of a chance that their way of life is not the only way of life, it's a really good possibility that you guys can make it through these changes and shifts and work on your relationship together. But if only one person is, going to therapy, doing the inner work, open to change, and the other person is extremely closed-minded and stuck in their ways, then it may not be the right relationship. And it's okay to outgrow people too. I want to make that abundantly clear today that this isn't about ride or die, no matter what, in sickness and in health, all of the vows that we've been told, right? That keeps people stuck in toxic relationships. This conversation is for the people that are married and they're in a healthy relationship. There's nothing necessarily toxic about your connection, but one person or both of you may be wanting more. So if you're at a place right now in your relationship where, maybe you have been married for a little while, or maybe you are prepping to get married and you want to make sure that you're not going to fall into the same relationship that you have seen throughout your life, with your parents, with the media, with social media, and you want to make sure that you are breaking generational patterns and moving to a place of more peace, more harmony, more love, more joy in your relationship, then it is critical for you and your partner to have a growth mindset. So the opposite of a growth mindset is a fixed mindset. Fixed mindset people feel like change is not possible. This is just the way I am. This is how I've always been. And this is how I'm always going to be. Versus a growth mindset, these people are more willing to think, this is the way I do it. Maybe there's a better way to do it, or other people may be doing it in a way that works for them. That sliver of shift and change is a huge opportunity for more light to come in, which means being able to see a new path forward. My husband wasn't open to growth and change and everything at all in the beginning, but the biggest difference was between our relationship and what I see in a lot of my clients is that my husband was always open to me exploring what works for me. He never imposed his belief system onto me. He never projected his fears onto me. That really showed me that even if we don't agree 100% on everything, we can have enough space in our relationship to have respect for opposing point of views. So if your partner has opposing point of views, but they are respectful and they create a space for you to express your point of view without judgment, that is a huge. Like, I want to make sure that you understand how amazing that is, because so many people are not at that point. So many people cannot get out of their fixed mindset and into a growth mindset. So many people are very stuck and stagnant and just want to stay the same. So if you have a partner who is even remotely open to something different, even if they don't see your truth as their truth, that alone is extremely important. I hope you have gratitude for your partner if they are that way, because sometimes I know for me, what we can do is we just think about all the negative, and it's really important for us to pause and think about the tiny positives, because those tiny positives are the building blocks of creating a marriage that is going to be different than the marriage that your parents have with each other. So many people focus on the negative because, one, they don't trust that they chose a partner that is good for them. So it's a lot of lack of self-confidence that, I chose a partner that may not be perfect, but I know that they're perfect for me. And that simple shift also is really important so that you don't fall into the trap of comparing your relationship to others, comparing your relationship to what you see on social media, what you see online, what you read about, all of that. It is really important to have confidence in your own decisions, in your own choices, knowing that, okay, my partner may not be perfect, but there must be a reason that we're here in this union together. So let me think about the possibility that maybe there's a reason for us to be together. And that alone, right? It doesn't have to be something so positive where it's like, oh, I trust myself. I know I chose the right person. I know I chose the perfect person for me. What it could just do is say, you know what? The universe brought us together for a reason. Let me just see what that reason is. Let me just expand my consciousness and think about, okay, why am I in this relationship? Why are our souls connecting here at this point in our life? Why is this person the person that my soul chose to be on this soul contract with right here, right now? And that can really help you see things from a different light. I know for me, it's like my husband is anti-spirituality. Like, he doesn't really believe in any of it. But the differences that he has in his approach and the way I am are compatible, even if they're different, because it allows me to see things from a completely different point of view, which actually allows me to embody my spirituality into the practical so that I am rooted and grounded on earth and not just thinking about all these spiritual things and practices and things like that, and actually bringing all of these ideas and ideologies and philosophies into my reality. So his anti-spirituality has allowed me to really bring everything that I know to be true into my human experience and be a messy human and tap into authenticity and realize that life doesn't have to be so mystical and serious and all about enlightenment and connecting with God and this and that. We're allowed to be just silly, messy, cute little humans that are here to play too. And isn't that the whole point of spirituality? I think the most spiritual thing is when you realize that life is not that serious and you're allowed to play and you're allowed to tap into your inner child joy. And that is why I love my husband so much, because he reminds me of how fun it is to be here, how none of it really matters, and we might as well just do whatever the heck we want to do while we're here. Not think about right or wrong or heaven or hell or just all of the stuff that religion and spirituality can really trap us into, of like being this perfectly healed, perfect, higher self version of ourselves, when the fun of it all is to be a messy human right here, right now. It's also really important to make sure that you feel safe in your relationship in order to go on this growth journey. So not just safe, but also seen. So if you feel like your partner doesn't have respect for someone that isn't the ideal version of who they want to be married to, then that's going to be really hard for you to break out of that shell and reveal that messy human part of you. What I've seen in a lot of the couples that I coach is either one or two partners have this perfect vision of who they want their ideal partner to be. And I blame this on Western practices that, you know, when you're trying to call in a partner, they say, oh, write down all the qualities that you want in a partner. And it can really keep us stuck in surface level transactional ways of thinking about how we want to be with our partner. Even if you find somebody who is perfect on paper and like has the great job, has the great body, and has, you know, the great friends and the amazing family, shit happens, and marriage is a really long process and a really long time to be together. So navigating through that, what does that mean, right? Does it mean that when they no longer have that job, are you not going to love them anymore? When they no longer have the perfect body because 10 years have passed and life happened and you guys gained a little bit of weight, are you not going to be as physically attracted to each other anymore? So it's really about, how can I build a relationship over the length of time that is sustainable in my own authentic way? How can I make sure that I am getting to know this person on a layer deeper than the surface level things that I thought I wanted when I first got married? So allowing yourself to really put down those armors and really connect on a deeper level than just surface level things. Like, I like the way this person holds space for me. I like the way they think about me. I like the way that they make me feel. I like being in their presence, right? So really tapping into your partner's energy and not just their words and physical appearance. That is what really helped me realize that my partner may not be perfect and he may not be the most beautiful man in the world, but he is the most beautiful human to me, because his energy is my favorite place to be. His essence, his aura, his soul, his kindness, his heart, right? Like when you get to know somebody beyond how others see them and really get to see them on a deeper level, like their heart and their soul, that is where the magic is to make a marriage work. So when you don't have a healthy example of love growing up, you may not even know that there is more depth to be experienced when you have been married for a while. My husband and I just celebrated 9 years of marriage. We're still learning more about each other. We're still connecting deeper than ever before. Every single day, honestly, like not that it's like the only thing I think about all day, every day. I mean, I think about it a lot. hence this podcast. But it's really important to realize that who you are in day one is not who you're going to be year 5, 6, 10, 20, 30. And just that simple shift of creating space for curiosity, for change, for growth, for discovery, for honestly identity crisis, and supporting each other through that and not freaking out because your partner is going through something is the most loving thing you can do. Accepting them fully for who they are in the moment, right here, right now, without freaking out that they're not perfect, is the most loving thing you can do. So if you want to make sure that you are not having the same marriage as your parents or the generations before us, one, be open to self-discovery, be open to having a growth mindset, be open to accepting your partner as they are right here, right now, and not worrying about changing them. And if you do have things that you don't love about each other, work on yourself first, and I promise you, your energy shift is going to be reflected back to you in your relationship with your partner. Even if it doesn't look like they are doing the work on the outside, trust me, energetically, that shift is going to happen if you're meant to be together. And it won't happen if you're meant to part ways. And we can't attach and control who we're in a relationship with. That's the whole point of conscious relationship, is how can we be sharing our energy together? How can we share our lives together without controlling, without forcing that connection to exist? Freedom and autonomy is incredibly important as we're evolving as human beings, and as we're self-actualizing. We want freedom, we want autonomy, so our partners are going to want that too. So if you truly want to be a relaxed woman, completely rooted and grounded in who you are, tap into your own energy, work on yourself, and that will be reflected back to you in your healthy relationships with your partner if that person has a growth mindset. And that's all you need to worry about. If they have a growth mindset, let the rest go, because your energy is going to lift them up and help them become the match to who you want to be. If you are worried about outgrowing a partner, or you're worried that you're doing all this work and they're not, and you're not seeing them change or shift, it's because maybe you are aware of all the ways that you need to shift and change, but you're not integrating it and you're not embodying it. So the minute you embody your own shifts and changes, your partner is going to pick up on that energy change and choose to shift also. But you cannot coach them. You cannot be their therapist. You cannot try to be the one that forces your partner to change. And that's expansive for you too. For me, like a big wound that I have had in my life is the mother wound, where I want to mother everyone. That's what people pleasers do, right? You make sure that you're pleasing others to make yourself feel better internally. So when you're healing that people pleasing tendency, when you're healing that nagging behavior, when you are learning to surrender, to let go, to be in your feminine energy, what that means is you are trusting the universe to give you exactly what you need for your soul's path to move forward. Sometimes that means difficult conversations, vulnerability, uncomfortable dialogue, uncomfortable life situations. And it's not about having a perfect life. It's about having the capacity to hold these obstacles and challenges without completely losing your emotional intelligence and maturity. The more we work on ourselves, and the more we're able to expand our nervous system, regulate our nervous system, expand our capacity for more, and stay rooted and grounded in our sovereign being, the easier it is to work on your relationship with your partner. And your partner deserves a healed, mature you. And when you work on you, your entire marriage is going to shift and change automatically. Trust me. That's the biggest difference, right? When we're moving into this new paradigm shift, it's not about perfection, it's about authenticity. So the more we are letting go of all of the layers that stop us from tapping more into love and acceptance and grace and harmony within our own selves, then you're going to stop your partner from expressing their authenticity too. The number one thing that is going to make sure that your marriage is not what we've seen and what we have experienced in our parents is acceptance for ourselves to be imperfect, so that we have space and capacity to accept our partners for being imperfect, and enjoying that and loving it and treating it as the most beautiful thing in the world. We're not here to be perfect. We're here to be authentic. So the more you remember that, it's easier to have self-love and grace for your imperfections, therefore love and grace for your partner's imperfections. And you get to just be messy humans together and grow together and be like, okay, you know what? These habits are actually really bad for us. You know, maybe we do shift, and you working on yourself and making sure that you're not staying in these codependent behaviors where it's like, oh, my husband, it doesn't do it, so why should I? No, you're a mature woman. You're a sovereign woman. You are here on your own individual path and journey. And if you want to shift and grow and fix unhealthy habits and tap into healthier habits, it starts with you. Change starts with you. Be the change you want to see in the world, right? So instead of nagging your partner, maybe tap into doing it yourself. Maybe wake up and go outside for a walk. Maybe cook healthier meals. And if your partner has any problem with that, then you can say, listen, you're more than welcome to go and get your own food or cook your own food. This is what I'm eating. This is what I'm doing. And this is important to me for my own self. And if you guys outgrow each other during that phase, then you know that that person didn't have a growth mindset. So it really is just about that. Or do they have a growth mindset or a fixed mindset? And everything else will fall into place. So I hope this episode was helpful. I really am passionate about making sure that as a society, as a collective, we are understanding that marriage can change and marriage doesn't have to be the same as it always has been. And we get to make marriage whatever we want it to be, long as there's two people that are committed to changing and growing and evolving and thinking outside the box. So thank you so much for tuning into this episode. Again, if you have found any nuggets of wisdom or if this has helped you at all, please leave a comment. I love reading your comments. Hit like and subscribe, and I will see you guys next week. Thanks again and have a great day.